This is exciting. We are about to open the Suncorp Super Netball season for 2022. We are at Netball South Australia Stadium. The Thunderbirds, the home team, against the travelling Collingwood Magpies. I am Matt Russell. It is great to have your company for what is an historic day, the 6th season of Suncorp Super Netball on a new home, Fox Netball, and I'm delighted to be joined by some Australian netball royalty. Together they've played 377 National League games, 163 times for the Diamonds. They've captained their country. I'm going to get to Caitlin Bassett in a moment, but Maddie Brown, welcome. I know you share my excitement, although you also share some nerves because the player was coming out in you pre-game. You're saying you're nervous for the players about to open this season.
Oh, it's like nervous excitement energy, Matt. I think, you know, like round one, they had a bit of a taste of it at Team Girls Cup, but round one, there's points on the line. You want to set your intention in the first 5 minutes, show what you're all about, and definitely get a W today, just to kind of settle those nerves and take a nice deep breath and go, okay, we're here and we're ready to go.
Wherever you are watching around the world, it is great to have you tuning in to the Suncorp Super Netball Premiership in Australia. And it was fantastic to see the players run out with broad and beaming smiles because they're performing in front of a crowd again. Let's say, well, let's hope we're not talking about hubs or any other sort of interruption. It is a fantastic competition that attracts the world's best. And really, the fans love turning out and cheering on these players. So, Maddie Brown, let's go through the lineups. There are two newcomers, if you like, to either team this year, and each newcomer, or each team has a newcomer in the shooting role.
They do. Obviously, T-Birds have Tipper Dwan in that goal attack position. Today in the Adelaide Advertiser, coach Tanya Obbs was saying she brings so much versatility to their team. She allows them to be a bit more flexible in that goal circle, pushing Georgie Horges obviously out to wing attack. But yeah, I think it's really exciting to obviously see her within the mix.
Well, Caitlin Bassett, you are a shooting sensation during your decorated career. Tipper Dwan, Sophie Garvin, there shouldn't really be any opening night nerves, should there? They've done so much already in their short careers.
I'll pay you later, Maddie. Yeah, look, always nerves are a good thing before a game, and like Maddie talked about earlier, it means you're excited. So no doubt those will be nerves playing in front of a home crowd for the first time for Tipper Dwan, but also for Sophie Garvin, putting on that new dress and actually getting out there and showing this is why she's moved clubs.
Sophie Garvin about to take to the court in this Collingwood huddle. She's playing her 50th Suncorp Super Netball game. 4 seasons at the Swifts, premierships with the New South Wales club, but here she is in her first game with this famous brand that is the Collingwood Magpies. Game 50, game 1 as a Magpie. Nice bit of synergy there for Soph Garvin, Maddie.
Look, she's played in big games, Matt, so I'm sure she's very familiar with what it takes to come out and have to perform. So I think just once she gets that first shot underway, nice little settler, just take a deep breath, and then I think she'll start to make that impact and really show us what she's made of.
Yeah, Soph Garvin, 2-time player of the year at the Swifts, but right now it's the Thunderbirds and their supporters welcoming them home. Back to Netball South Australia Stadium. They're trying to make the finals for the first time. This is the 25th anniversary of the Adelaide Thunderbirds, 4-time champions in previous National League competitions, but since it became the Suncorp Super Netball Premiership, they've finished 8th twice and 7th the last 3 years.
Yeah, they've never played finals. They're the only team in the competition not to have done so. So I think they're expecting big things from season 2022.
A new era begins. Suncorp Super Netball is underway on Fox Netball. Enjoy this. Game 1 of 60 through 14 rounds, then finals. And it's the Magpies scoring the first goal of the 2022 season. And it's Shamona Nelson delivering for the visitors. The Thunderbirds with their first possession. Collingwood able to avoid any early nerves with the score on their first possession. And Lenise Potgieter, a set of steady hands here for the Thunderbirds, but she misses the South African. The rebound going to Collingwood, and they'll look to go back-to-back and open up a 2-goal lead. Again, the ball was meant for Nelson. A bad pass, and the Thunderbirds will come up with possession. We should recap all the talk pre-game. No Ash Brazel for the Magpies, out with concussion. Nicole Richardson coaching remotely because of COVID protocols. So it's Kate Upton at the bench today.
Both teams look like they're kind of taking a bit of the pace off the ball a little bit. Maybe that's nerves and not letting it go on that first second, but there is a little bit of less intensity in the game so far.
Tipper Dwan scores her first goal as an Adelaide Thunderbird. The former Firebird, changing her feathers if you like. She's up and running in Adelaide, Tipper Dwan. Brown for Garvin. And the bounce pass hits Nelson.
That's something Sophie's really, really good at. She's not only a great option within the circle, but she provides that extra assistance outside, getting a lot of goal assists to obviously Shimona Nelson as well.
Shimona Nelson choosing netball over approaches from college basketball in the US. She had WNBA written all over her. We're glad she chose netball and is here in Australia. A real international feel to this competition, this game, in fact, which we'll expand on as the minutes go by. Tipper Dwan, back-to-back goals for Adelaide.
She's really taking the nerves, I think, off the Adelaide Thunderbirds, Tipper Dwan. Two nice, easy shots.
Lind and Brown working for Garvin, who throws it away, though. And Adelaide have steadied after that nervous start where Potgieter couldn't score.
She's also sitting on a pretty good milestone there, Matt. I wonder whether that came into play.
This is goal 998. She's charging towards 1,000. Her and Buddy Franklin hoping to make it a big weekend. The Sydney Stars already done that, and Lenise Potgieter will. The only question is, does it come in this first quarter?
I'm thinking it should as a goal shooter. It definitely should. Will just be interesting to see how the netball crowd behaves compared to the footy crowd.
I guarantee you they won't invade the court like we saw at the SCG last night. Amazing scenes in the AFL, but she's on 999 goals, Potgieter. And there's Sterling showing her defensive resolve, her leap, her height, her reach. They couldn't leave the defensive end safely.
Look, this is going to be a really interesting test, I think, on Shimona Nelson. She struggles sometimes against Sterling. They know, obviously, the Jamaican style of play so well. So a couple of loose feeds going astray. It'd be nice to get some easy settle ones to her, just to bring her in there, make her feel confident. So hopefully Soph can put this one in.
Garvin scores for Collingwood. Caitlin Bassett.
The start from the Adelaide Thunderbirds. I think they've been playing really smart in defence. Shamira Sterling has been starting a little bit off the body to confuse that space, but then obviously when you're playing against her, that high ball is so dangerous, and that is the strength of Shimona Nelson. So like what Maddie said, they have to play a little bit smart in that attacking end. They've got to get that ball moving and zinging around quicker. And I think with the ball in Kelsey Brown's hand, that should definitely start happening.
Yeah, Shimona and Shamira, not much between their first names and not much between them as I look down to the goal circle time and time again. They're body to body, the two Jamaicans.
I mean, aerial game is both of their strengths, so seeing how they can both work that into their games and trying to get the upper hand on the other one will be interesting to see how it plays out.
Shimona Nelson, 10 caps for the Jamaican Sunshine Girls. Shamira Sterling, 43 caps for the same outfit in what is a big year of international netball. The Commonwealth Games just around the corner, and Nelson strong. Misses first time around, can't take the rebound cleanly, but here's the whistle in her favour. And she edges Collingwood back in front. 5-4, first quarter here at Netball South Australia Stadium. Potgieter across court to Maisie Nankerville. Now Tipper Dwan moving nicely and scoring likewise.
Dwan is finding so much space in that goal circle. I'd love to see Jodie Ann Ward just get a little bit tighter on the body, make her change direction. be a bit more proactive than reactive.
Yeah, Tipper just 22 in her 3rd season of Suncorp Super Netball, but already providing fantastic ness and net points. At the other end, Nelson applauds the work from her mid-quarters. Contact there, Jovic up in the space of Nankerville.
Non-contact, Matt. We just let that stuff go these days.
Great. We love that, Maddie. Of course, if you were out there, you'd be appealing for the whistle.
And that was her 1,000th goal. Wow. What an incredible achievement. And she hasn't even played all Suncorp Super Netball season, so she's shown how strong she is as a shooter, a force to be reckoned with, and 1,000 goals in this league is an incredible achievement. Well done, Lenise Potgieter.
From the Firebirds to the Thunderbirds, and now 1,000 goals in Suncorp Super Netball. The South African Protea, 82 caps for her country, and a big milestone right here in quarter 1 of the season opener.
A little bit of back and forth there from both teams, some little errors coming into their play. Just need to take that pace off again. Take a nice deep breath, find those options, have multiple coming at you just like that. Work it in nice and close to the post and just get those steady goals ticking over on the scoreboard.
And the extra round of applause for that previous goal from Lenise showed that they knew the milestone. They knew that was 1,000 goals. A bit more decorum in the netball crowd. No court invasion.
We want to see the show go on.
Half-hour stoppage last night at the SCG. We can't afford that today. And Garvin has her shot blocked by Sterling.
3 seconds there. That's what Sterling is so strong at doing it with her hand over the shot. She hesitates. She makes the goaler think, oh, go now. No, I'm about to reject you. And it's every goaler's nightmare. Excellent work, Molly Jovic, getting that nice little fingertip to the ball.
Molly Jovic came into this Collingwood team up as an injury replacement for Ash Brazel. She's not the injury replacement today, but she has to replace or fill that significant hole left by Ash Brazel.
Yeah, and she usually starts in the centre, but she's obviously a very well-rounded mid-quarter who can play wing attack, centre and wing defence. She grew up during the Victorian ranks in wing defence, so it's probably a little bit of a flashback for her. But providing those tips early on is exactly what they needed to do.
Nelson scores for Collingwood. As a result, it's your sister and housemate Kelsey in the centre role, starting role for the Magpies in this one.
She's done a lot of work up court, coming out of defence, but also in the attack end so far. Nice steady hands, well done. Georgie Horges also at wing attack. We don't usually see her there. She's usually in the circle, but she's providing a lot of ball to those goalers. Exactly what she needs to do out the front.
So it is nip and tuck in the first quarter here. 6 and a bit minutes to play. And they're going goal for goal. A reminder that for the final 5 minutes of each quarter, we will enter power time where the super shot, the 2-point goal, if you like, comes into play. Brown grabs the loose ball, goes to Shimona Nelson.
There's that hesitation on the shot from Sterling again. As long as you can stay in play, it can actually be quite effective. But if you're getting pulled up, a little bit hard.
So Nelson 7 of 8 so far shooting, despite the best efforts of Shamira Sterling.
What the Magpies are doing really well against the Thunderbirds here is forcing them really wide, shutting down that middle channel, and then forcing them to the sidelines and hoping that the passer has a little bit too much on it, and then they can get that ball. Hard hit there, but Maisie Nankerville just bounced back up.
Garvin to Sterling, or it's Nelson.
That's a better feed. It really needs to come up and drop in front of Nelson. If it's up a little bit too high in the air, that's when Sterling's going to get those tips and have a little bit more effect on the ball.
Shimona Nelson again.
It'll be interesting to see how both teams play this first power play. Adelaide definitely have the 2-prong attack when they can put Georgie Horges and Tipper Dwan in. But both teams look like they're just going to chip away at the 1-pointers at this moment in time.
Caitlin Bassett, as it comes to watching Mentor on Potgieter or Sterling on Nelson, as a shooter yourself, what did you used to struggle with in terms of what the defenders did to you?
I don't want to give away too many tricks just in case I come out of retirement. But look, for me, it's about confusing that space. As soon as I have a body, I know where the space is. So if a defender comes off the body and changes position, that's where I really struggled. So I'm liking that Shamira Sterling is coming off. She's changing some angles. Lanise is enjoying when Gia Mentor is sitting strong on her body. So potentially that could be a bit of a switch up for the Magpies defence.
Voice of Caitlin Bassett, 102 caps for Australia. And fight for the ball here, which is won by Collingwood. Ward it is picking up the scraps now. Mentor with a long ball through Jovic. Lynn sits it up and it's taken by Nelson. Brown, her pass intercepted by Garrett.
Too many hands. You probably need to go for that nice short option, something that's right directly in front. Is she going to put up these first two shots? No, she's going to hand up with a nice one close to the post.
Potgieter looking to improve her position, working in with Porges. Tipper-Dwan inside the final 5. It is a Suncorp super shot from Tipper-Dwan.
They'd worked multiple times to get her in there.
Ball security in the back end of this first quarter, just bringing Collingwood undone a little. They're still out by 1. Tanya Wilson onto the floor for the Thunderbirds, working in defence with her Jamaican teammate, Shamira Sterling. Wilson to Horges. Now Mankovell. One.
Adelaide are really trying to exploit that mismatch, getting Jodie-Ann Ward on Potgieter and obviously Jiva Mentor on Tipper-Dwan, trying to get her running around, as we see, getting that 2-point shot.
Tipper-Dwan again, the super shot falls back-to-back from range. They're out by 2.
That's why she was recruited. That's why she was recruited. It's exactly what they got her for. Great take, Kelsey Brown.
Hannah Petty making life difficult for Brown.
Magpies really need to consolidate with a nice score here.
Nelson just swats the ball down for Garvin. So Kelsey. Now Shimona Nelson with the reach of Shamira Sterling. Winning possession for Adelaide. They're doing the job defensively. And at the other end, the shooters have some momentum now.
We've also had a change on in that goal defence position for Adelaide. We've got Latanya Wilson coming on for Matilda Garrett. Those long Jamaican arms are going to start to play havoc, I think.
So it's Dwan from range and Potgieter at the post. 15-12. Their best run of the game, Adelaide. Well, we're down 12-9. Now it's 15-12. The last 6 goals to the Thunderbirds.
Magpies trying to build that defensive pressure, but little undisciplined, getting pulled out of plays. Just releasing that pressure and getting a nice easy shot off is not going to help get them back into the game.
45 seconds left in the opening quarter. Collingwood needing to steady. Lynn, cross court through Brown, and it ends up with Nelson in good position. She finds the front of the rim, grabs the offensive rebound, then scores. Boy, they needed that.
They did. Just a nice little settler.
It's Nicole Richardson making of this as she watches on. Kate Upton, the assistant coach, in that lead role today because of the COVID protocols, keeping Nicole away from this one. Potgieter, Horges, and Potgieter gets loose of the defence.
Magpies both trying to shut down that 2-point shot option, leaving Potgieter right underneath the post. Oh.
And they just lost a sense of the clock there, Adelaide. Time expires on them as they tried to improve the shot, but that is the first quarter done here, and the Thunderbirds, big finishes to the quarter. As a result, they have a 3-goal lead, as you'd expect in Suncorp Super Netball. There is no love lost. It's all on the line from here. 14 rounds and finals to go. This game 1 of your new season.
is when you get it, you turn and you see more than one person. All right, then you make a really good choice.
You're listening to Kate Upton deliver her quarter-time speech thanks to Origin Energy. Maddie Brown, while we've been in the break, you've been listening intently to this Collingwood huddle. What stands out to you?
Well, she asked a lot of her defenders. She said, you need to be accountable for your own player. Get in a position to actually contest rather than just giving up that front option. In attack, she said, we need to get some bit more width and depth, work that fat side. That's when she's saying, like, make sure you're using both channels, both sides. Let's not have it so crowded. She also obviously questioned Shimona Nelson on the hold, saying give yourself a little bit more space, and even the feeders saying hold a little bit stronger rather than coming off early and letting Sterling have a crack at that ball.
Well, it was Sophie Garvin scoring the first goal of the game. The next 12 for Collingwood delivered by Shimona Nelson, and they led midway through that opening period before a surging Adelaide Thunderbirds went to the lead by 3. Lenise Potgieter 9 of 10 shooting, and Tipper Dwan, the newcomer to the Thunderbirds, a perfect 5 of 5, including a couple of super shots.
No changes at the quarter break. Quite interesting to see that Maggie Lean's been quite costly, I think, in the wing attack position. She's had 4 turnovers already. I thought there might have been maybe a little bit of a shift there. Matilda Garrett's obviously come off. Latanya Wilson came on just before that quarter time break. So interesting to see that the 2 Jamaicans are staying there in that defence end.
Adelaide lost their season opener last year by 14 goals to the Giants. In fact, they didn't win until round 6. That was against the Vixens. Wouldn't they be buoyant if they can jump out of the blocks this season with a first-up win against the Collingwood Magpies? Just repeating, the Thunderbirds have never been to the finals in the Suncorp Super Netball era. Is this their season? I'd love to start with a win.
Adelaide Thunderbirds putting on that defensive pressure that we saw Magpies doing in the first quarter, trying to draw them wide, shut down that middle. But Magpies still find a way. Short and sharp movements get them to the top of the circle.
They scored the first goal of the game. Now they have the first of the second quarter. Borges to Potgieter. Quarter time probably came at a bad time for Adelaide as momentum was in their favour. Nankerville to Dwan. And she wants a better shot. Here's Potgieter setting that foot. And from close range, giving Adelaide their opening goal of this period. Yeah, Collingwood last year also lost first up. That was to the Sunshine Coast Lightning. They won in round 3 against Adelaide. And we're in finals contention for most of the season. Garvin misses, and Sterling gets the rebounds. Sterling and Wilson bringing it into the centre court. Borges. He's Dwan given a handle. Nankerville, she was looking for Potgieter. And the fight for the ball is ruled in favour of Collingwood.
Yeah, I think there's some hands on that are not being called at the moment. But it's good to see that the umpires are quite consistent, letting it go from both sides.
So 17-14 in favour of the Thunderbirds. Nelson.
That's better from the Magpies, working that short, sharp movement. A few more extra passes at the front before they try and isolate Nelson on that hold against Sterling.
She finished with 616 points last year, Shimona Nelson. Only 4 super shots. It's at the post where she does most of her work. Potgieter with the miss. We'll get to Caitlin Bassett again when we can, but word out of that quarter-time break is they want the Thunderbirds to concentrate on their second phase defence. So you might explain that for us, Maddie.
Yeah, so I think obviously first phase is like having a crack at it, but they're kind of conceding that first ball and then trying to sag back and really shut down those options for the Magpies to try and get depth. So watch them either setting on that 4, so they're shutting down that middle channel, forcing them wide, and really trying to make them do a few more passes, get maybe a little bit uneasy having to handle the ball a few more times, and hopefully throw in one that Sterling can contest.
Well, assisted by some wayward shooting, they're grabbing the defensive rebounds, the Thunderbirds. Tipper Dwan uses Nankerville on the goal circle. Dwan brings Horges into it.
Trying to work that ball that little bit closer, get a nice easy shot.
Ward and Mentor trying to do the job defensively. And for the time being, they're frustrating Adelaide. Tipper Dwan, too good to miss from there though.
And it's the patience from those feeders out the front, working it from side to side. Maybe in a reset option might be in play.
These teams met at the Team Girls Cup, and it was a big win to Adelaide, 45-30 against the Pies. Do you read much into that pre-season matchup, Maddie?
Look, I think as I said, in the opener at the TGC, Adelaide came out firing and Magpies were a bit caught on the front foot, but Magpies are a really proud side, and in the off-season they've been working on a little bit of their identity, what they want to stand for. I mean, the last few seasons they've really fallen short in their performances, and you can see in this second quarter they're letting the ball go with way more confidence, backing each other in. That's what they want to see week in, week out, quarter after quarter. That's the Magpies brand, the Magpies way. Jiva looking really strong at the moment. She doesn't seem to be hindered by that ankle either. Just great signs for their team as well.
So it was a month ago today that she injured her ankle at the Team Girls Cup. And if it's a significant ankle injury, 4 weeks is basically the minimum to get back. So she's worked really hard for it to be here on opening day and doing a job defensively as Shimona Nelson keeps delivering as the shooter.
It's goal for goal. It's kind of just waiting for that break in play. Who is going to crumble first? Who's going to hand over that mistake?
Just a nice pass for Dwan. And Tipper catches the side of the rim. It's off Jiva Mentor, lost over the goal line. Now Jovic can't get a clean grab at the ball.
It was a really good defensive setup there by Magpies, trying to force both of those attackers on the outside of the circle edge in towards each other and let Jodie Ann Ward have a crack. Really good positioning by Jiva. That's what she does so well. She manipulates her body and puts those shooters in positions that she can actually start to contest for the ball.
Well, such strength for Collingwood at the defensive end. Jiva Mentor, 153 caps for England, a two-time Collingwood best and fairest, and then Jodie Ann Ward, the reigning best and fairest at the Magpies. She was fantastic last season.
She was. It'll be about backing that up and being a bit more consistent week in, week out. You say those personal accolades, but unfortunately they were the worst defensive team in the league, which is hard. So personally they're really good, but how do they combine well as a team to stop that score coming on the board from the opposition? Not the right option there by Garvin. 3 players on Brown, needed to look down. Threaten long to the circle always. Always look long.
Now Tipper Dwan. And there's some work from Ward. Jodie Ann Ward with the intercept.
Collingwood need to consolidate on this one. Oh, and there's another turnover.
Sterling and Latanya Wilson making life difficult for the Magpies. Now it's Horges and Wilson. Tipper Dwan. Mentor gets a hand in the way, but Potgieter cleans up. Nankerville to Tipper Dwan. And there's a shot from range. Good accuracy, Tipper Dwan. There's the work from Latanya Wilson on your Harvey Norman replay.
And a timeout called by the Magpies. Not surprised there. They've had some really good turnover ball and really not being able to capitalise on it, whether it's been lost in the midcourt or lost just towards the circle edge. When you get a turnover at this league, you really need to make it count. They're few and far between them, so you need to put that scoreboard pressure on your opposition, especially when you get those really crucial turnovers.
I think if we get this ball here, we turn this ball over, let's double play it down. Not necessarily everyone is ahead of it. If it does, then but I think
No, leave that for a second. Leave it for a second. There's no movement. Yep. Stay there. Come in nice and close. All right. Depth on first and second phase, right? Make sure. Make sure you do not
you're not seeing things, it is Kate Upton leading this huddle today. Nicole Richardson coaching remotely because of COVID protocols, but the Thunderbirds out by 2. The Magpies just fell a little flat at the end of the first quarter, so a timeout there allowing them a chance to reconsolidate.
And also a change in that goal attack position. Gabby Sinclair coming on to that goal attack position. Governor has thrown a few turnovers away. So they just need that nice settler. And obviously Gabby and Shimona know each other really, really well.
This quarter or after the quarter time break? After the half time break?
Now Nankerville.
Yep.
July avoids Ward. That's good work. Tipper Dwan. The 22-year-old from Toowoomba, and you've got to keep reminding yourself of the age of some of these athletes. So cool and calm. And Tipper is a case in point. The loose ball taken by Wilson.
You may have heard in the huddle for the Adelaide Thunderbirds, Tanya Obb said, look, when we get a turnover ball, we want to do those give and go. So you're seeing someone give, go, Horges releases it, goes again. That's what she asked of her team, and they're delivering right now on court.
The long pass for Potgieter, who can't keep it in. Jovic there to pick up the loose ball. Mentor goes to Ward. And now Brown. The long cross-court pass to Sinclair. Jovic and Brown busy. That's good work by Nelson, just grabbing at the ball through the air, despite Wilson adding the pressure.
Wealth of work from Kelsey Brown, not only in the mid, but definitely down in that goal third. Give and go, going again, settling and then delivering on that nice feed.
A defensive breakdown there allows Potgieter to break free.
And Horges just hit her right under the post. Defenders never want to leave someone home alone.
Again, it's Shamira Sterling, just unable to clean up her deflection.
That's her game, is that cross-court pass. So you want to keep it low, you want to keep it short. Much better.
Nelson splits the defenders, leaves the shot short. Scramble for the ball. And Nelson comes up with it. 22-19. Becomes 22-20.
And we've also seen another change for the Magpies. Goal defence, Jackie Newton coming onto court for Jodie Ann Ward. Straight away gets a tip to the ball. Excellent work, Jackie. It's what you want to see when you get injected into the game, making an impact straight away.
3 years as a Vixen, now in her second at the Pies. Jackie Newton. And Nelson makes sure that effort by Newton, that defensive resolve, is rewarded.
The intensity that these games are being played at, you need to use those subs. You want fresh legs on, you want people to come on, make an impact straight away. Those role players come on for a couple of minutes, get a few tips to the ball, and then keep those rotations coming. Keep the opposition guessing all the time.
Big shot from Sinclair. We're about to enter the power play 5, as you might hear in the background. So it's super shot territory. Suncorp super shot. And $100 from every made super shot goes to Suncorp's Confident Girls Foundation. I'll tell you more about that throughout the second half. But Tipper Dwan was big in terms of the super shot in the first quarter. Is it her time to shine again now?
That's a really important shot by Sinclair as well. It's her first shot, needs to get injected into the game, especially in this two-point play.
Potgieter at the post. The fake to shake Newton, and then she scores effortlessly.
Look, any goal's a good goal, isn't it? I mean, obviously we're in that Suncorp super shot power play now, so we want to have those shots, but ticking away on the scoreboard is really important as well.
Well, who's going to have the halftime lead? Nelson to lock it up. Yes, it falls over the cliff. 23-23. It seemed as if the Thunderbirds might be in a position to break free in the first quarter. Collingwood staying with them here in the second. Potgieter grabs her own rebound and makes good second time around.
They know how strong Dwan can be in this time period, so they're shutting her down and going, you know what, we'll go 1 for 1 with you.
At half-time, Hannah Hollis, Maddie Brown, Caitlin Bassett to take you through all the first half highlights. Remember, after this one, we're straight off to Sydney for a grand final rematch. Swifts, Giants. Nelson scoring for Magpies. We're going goal for goal. Can someone shake it up and get on a run late in this first half? Potgieter to Tippertuan. Now Nankerville in that centre role. Potgieter turns and shoots the 2 off the mark. But the Thunderbirds will keep possession.
It was a lucky attempt to try and get that rebound and Mentor tipping it out. I expected to go goal for goal right to the end for these last 2 and a bit minutes.
It was Potgieter's first super shot. It was a miss. Tippertuan made both of hers late in that first quarter. Is it about to be 3 from 3 from Tipper? She just improves the look. And again, hard off the iron and away.
Another unlucky penalty there by Jackie Newton. She obviously gave it away. I think they just need to put this in for a nice little one. Once you've had a couple of attempts, it's like, let's just get that one, and then we can reassess the next time we get in possession.
Lind, her feed for Nelson. And Shimona.
When Lynn gets to the top of the circle and feeds Shimona, it's a much better percentage pass than being off. That hole from Shimona has been a lot stronger in this quarter as well.
Tippertuan charging into the circle. A deflection from the Magpies. The pass was meant for Potgieter, and she has it now. Working to improve the position with Horgis. Newton almost wins possession for the Magpies. Dwan for 2. It rims out. And then swatting at the ball, Jiva Mentor makes sure the Thunderbirds can reload here.
Yeah, look, I think time is wasting away. They're having a crack at this 2-point shot, and so should they should. Like, this is the time to have a crack. Strong hold there, but great shot. Finally, 4th attempt.
She was 2 from 2, then 2 from 4 now. It's 3 of 5 for Tippertuan.
I think Magpies will expect Sinclair to get free on this next one. Take it patiently, just chip away, get to that circle edge, go again.
Lynn for Brown, and her pass hit Shimona Nelson. Collingwood happy to go up by 1 as Upton considers her playbook. One's bounce pass for Potgieter, who goes back to Horgis, then positions herself in behind the backspace of Mentor to score.
Really good shutdown by the Jamaican defence there, shutting down that 2-point option in Sinclair, leaving Nelson under the post all alone, just for a 1.
I was impressed by the passing between Kelsey Brown and Maggie Lind. And that's the end of the second quarter. It's the Thunderbirds by 1 after the first half. It has been tight. It has been a tussle. And it's been good netball to open the Suncorp Super Netball season. Leading the scoring, Shimona Nelson, 25 of 28 shooting. Lenise Potgieter, 16 of 20 for the Thunderbirds. Tippertuan with some nice super shot making as we find Caitlin Bassett.
I'm down here with Tippertuan, the newest Adelaide Thunderbirds player. You look so comfortable down there. Tell us what it's been like playing this first half.
Yeah, it's been good. It's been a big battle out there against the Magpies, but I think we're just playing our game of netball, and that's what we have to continue to do.
And look, you've been sinking some super shots. I've been having a sneaky listen. Tanya Obbs screaming to just go the 1s. How do you decide whether to shoot a 1-point or a 2-point goal?
I think you can just feel it as a shooter, and she gives us the opportunity to take it when we feel it, so I feel really comfortable taking those ones as well. And I got Lenny under the post for the rebound, so why not?
Yeah, tell us about Lenise Potgieter. What's it like playing with such a superstar, and how comfortable do you feel knowing that she can nail those ones under the post?
Yeah, I think she's just such a strong asset back there, and she really talks to you. She's a very well-mannered girl when she wants to be, but yeah, I just love playing with her, and she's such a fiery goal shooter, so it's good.
Well, loving what we're seeing out there. Good luck for the second half.
Thank you.
Thank you, Caitlin. Well done, Tipper. Hannah, Caitlin and Maddie are back with the halftime show in a moment. We're only just getting started on Fox Netball. Opening day still has so much more to come, including this grand final rematch. There wasn't much between Collingwood and Adelaide at the end of last season. They finished 6th and 7th. There's not too much between them today. Adelaide out by 1 goal. The Thunderbirds' biggest lead has been 4. Collingwood's biggest lead has been 3. Maddie Brown, I think we're going deep into the 4th quarter to decide this one.
Yeah, and I actually think what will be exciting we'll see how the teams play that super shot power play time. Adelaide have probably a little bit more score power in that time zone, where Magpies only have Gabby, so it would be interesting to see how both play out in the dying quarters.
Well, Collingwood's assistant coach, Kate Upton, has been promoted today because of COVID protocols. Kate, I'd like to know what you liked and disliked about that first half.
Yeah, I was really happy with the patience and decision making. We probably need to get a little bit more depth and open the court up in attack. But probably long court transition. We're probably a little bit too wide on that one, so we need to narrow that one and make sure that we work the middle channel and the channel next to that. That'd be great.
Kate, we know that Richo is on the phone when you need her. Yep. Are you seeing eye to eye on calls, or have you turned the phone off and put her to bed?
No, actually, Madison, we have been seeing eye to eye, and she's very, very positive. So I'm really happy to hear that, because that could have been awkward.
And Kate, the protocols mean that Nicole's out for 12 days, so you've got a few training sessions and another game to control, right?
No, I think they're a little bit different in Victoria, so we're hoping to have her back round 2.
Okay, well, great stuff. Good luck in the second half here. Thanks, Kate.
Thanks.
Kate Upton filling the chair today as Nicole Richardson watches and coaches remotely. Special dispensation given to the Pies to be able to do that. And it might affect a few clubs as we navigate our way through the next 3 and a bit months. 14 rounds plus finals to unfold. The grand final early in July. It's a long and winding road until then. This is game 1 of 60, and we're underway in the second half. A good crowd in here at Netball South Australia Stadium. A sold-out Ken Rosewell Arena for the grand final rematch later on Fox Netball. As I mentioned, neither side here able to get away by a big margin.
Magpies staying with the same team. They finished the second quarter. Adelaide brought on Al McDonald into that wing attack position to probably give a little bit more injection and speed and ball handling skills to try and nail those nice feeds closer to the post.
Lynn just throwing it up into the air. It was Sinclair, in fact, for Nelson. Lynn to Sinclair. The accidental pass almost, and Nelson scores to level us up. The scores all square several times already in this one. Potgieter raising that 1,000-goal milestone in Suncorp Super Netball in the first quarter. And here she is, given another opportunity by Georgie Horgis. That's her position, and that's her play.
Yes, I was going to say, it's really nice. Obviously, she played the first half at wing attack. It's probably a really good addition to her game to be able to see it out the front, see what the goalers are providing, see what the defenders are doing, and then obviously to inject in that goal circle now where she really, really belongs. Be interesting to see how she plays out this quarter.
Sinclair will shoot for Collingwood. When it comes to the Nissan net points, Maddie, interesting to see that Collingwood have the top 3 scores. Shimona Nelson, Molly Jovic, Jodie Ann Ward. That's an algorithm that is used to crunch numerous stats and come up with your Nissan net points. It's Latanya Wilson, highest placed for the Thunderbirds.
Yeah, look, it's interesting how those scores come apart throughout the game. Some things are obviously a little bit more valuable in points than others. You know, I would say that even sometimes the mid-quarters have less points but have so much say on the outcome of the game. So it'll be interesting to see who finishes on top before the game finishes.
Spoken as one of Australia's finest mid-quarters. Give the mid-quarters more love.
Absolutely.
Change the algorithm.
Yeah, they're the hardest workers. We don't get to have the nice glamour shot or the nice intercept. The engine room, they do all the work, little applause.
You might find an argument there with a shooter by the name of Caitlin Bassett.
Not at all. I love my mid-quarters. They do the running for me, and Maddie certainly did a lot when we were playing together. But look, I think what's impressed me is this change that you guys spoke about in the Thunderbirds attacking end. Bringing Georgie Hodges across to that goal attack position has opened up that circle nicely. Give Tipperduan a rest. She worked really hard in that first quarter, and they're sure to call on her in the last half of this game. But I think Elle McDonald has really opened up that second phase and brought some really good depth into attacking end as well.
Thank you, Caitlin. As Hodges on cue, delivers from range. Caitlin Bassett and Maddie Brown, teammates in the 2014 Commonwealth Games gold medal lineup. Maddie did the running, Caitlin did the scoring, and Australia collected the gold as a group.
Perfect.
That's the sort of scenario we wonder whether it will unfold later this year, with Commonwealth Games selections just around the corner. In fact, the players have 5 games in Suncorp Super Netball before Stacey Marinkovic names that squad of 22. Given the Quad Series players, 14 of them you'd imagine would be there again. What's that? 8 positions up for grabs before that extended squad is named. Potgieter scoring for the Thunderbirds.
Yeah, we also know within a squad, you know, and within a season, illness, injuries do happen, and anyone can obviously be injected into the squad at any time. So it's important. Every game counts, not only for your club team, but also for international prospects as well.
Hodges, a busy start to this third quarter.
You can really see Hodges and Potgieter, their connection starting to come into this quarter. She looks straight in, wants to threaten to the post, want to pass it in there, has the confidence to let it go. You can see that they've obviously played a season together.
That was off Newton. In fact, she's penalised there, and Hodges shoots over Jiva Mentor, back from that ankle injury, but unable to stop Georgie, and it's 33-30. Remembering the Thunderbirds' biggest lead of the game is 4. Had that 5-goal run late in the first quarter to open up that 4-goal lead.
I think that's a really good option for Nelson at times. She's obviously really strong on the hold, but that hold and then pop forward just to get a nice easy ball into the chest for the feeders will be key to just continue to tick that ball, that scoreboard over, but also get the ball into her really cleanly.
So Sinclair called for the contact, and here come Adelaide again. Hodges. Nankerville goes back to Potgieter. They're working the circle beautifully. This front court for the Thunderbirds.
Yeah, I think the injection of McDonald and Hodges down there, they're just moving those short, sharp ball movement like Obs asked them. Want the short, sharp plays, give and goes, work to that circle edge. Magpies look a little disjointed in that attack end.
Yeah, Elle McDonald in her second year as a Thunderbird, starting as a Melbourne Vixen in Suncorp Super Netball, part of the Vixens Championship, in fact.
You can see the Magpies here setting up a little bit of a zone, working that box in that middle third.
And Newton just making some contact there on Hodges. Maybe the only way to stop Georgie at the moment, who has a little hobble, but finds a way into the attacking circle easily. Here she is, to McDonald.
There are many bodies hitting the floor at the moment. That intensity, I think, of the game is starting to lift. Or bodies are starting to get a little bit tired and do less pre-work. Great take by McDonald. Probably contested by Jovic.
Potgieter can't keep that pass inbound. It almost lands in row A. Georgie Hodges, I'm impressed by her to start the third quarter. 3 times she made the team of the round last season. She was the first signed for this campaign. Was good at the Team Girls Cup. And now the captain, Petty, goes to Nankerville.
One thing I think the Magpies are missing today, obviously we know Ash Brazel is out, but they're also lost a little bit of their flexibility within this centre court positions. They don't have much more to explore than what they've got out at the moment. It'd be great to see maybe Brown go back to wing attack, Jovic get injected into the centre, Look, we may even get to see that now. We've seen Jodie Ward come on to wing defence, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see Jovic back in that centre position soon.
If you're joining us late, Ash Brazel not out there today, the current Diamond and AFLW star. She hasn't been taken by the other sport. She's concentrating on netball, but didn't concentrate on training enough and copped a ball in the head out with concussion protocols.
I know. Out of all the sports, the non-contact one got her.
Back from that terrible knee injury and no doubt set for a big 2022 season. Lynn for Sinclair. And Sinclair finds Nelson, who finds the bottom of the net.
Taylor Williams coming on in centre for the Adelaide Thunderbirds. Molly Jovic coming to wing attack. As I mentioned, they needed a little bit more injection into that mid-court Magpies. Hopefully this is the winning move.
A long pass was always going to put someone under pressure. It was Sinclair, and it's off the Thunderbirds. Jovic tried to find Brown, but it's knocked down by Taylor Williams.
She's been a training partner for the Thunderbirds for a couple of years now, so it's really nice to see her get that full contract position. She's a really good role player for them, and I think she'll come on and instantly gets her hand on the ball. I'm sure she'll settle this attack in, providing a nice strong option for Georgie Horges as well.
Here she is. She played 5 games as that training partner. This game 6 in Suncorp Super Netball. Potgieter, a few more under her belt.
As we draw close to that power play time, expect some of the goal attacks to get their hand on the ball if they haven't for the last couple of minutes. You really want to kind of find your feet before that pressure comes on and having to score those 2-point shots.
When we hit the 5-minute mark, the power 5 kicks in, the super shot. You go from range, you get 2 to the tally. Sinclair for Jovic and Ward. Back to Sinclair. She's looking for Nelson. What a jump over the top of Shamira Sterling and the score to finish it. She's clapped her hands often today. Shimona Nelson, 31 of 34. She doesn't care about the power play. She just goes up by 1 and is happy to do so very effectively.
Absolutely. And I mean, you know, I think it's exciting to see how our game has really evolved over the last couple of seasons with the 2-point shot. We used to see a real strong holding goal shooter and only being able to take 1-point shots. So to have that extra element, it really means no team can be counted out until the last final whistle blows.
Or then come and hold your body and then present, right? Might not be always moving, yeah?
I can just keep on. Hey, see those cross-court ones? Keep on, please.
Let's go.
All right. Okay, so let's go back to basics now. Yeah, basics. Execute them really well. That change of timing in the attack.
Okay, ladies.
Three centre passes. What centre passes are we doing? Overload. Let's go. Let's go. Teamwork on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Teamwork, let's go.
You've been listening to an HCF Tactical Timeout. Tanya Obb starting her 4th season as Thunderbirds coach. We've been listening in to Adelaide, which I'll get your take on in a minute, Maddie, but let's find Caitlin Bassett on the other side of the court.
Yeah, look, as a tall girl, I can be sneaky, and I was having a listen to Collingwood, and they've made a couple of changes, bringing Kelsey into that wing attack position and Molly Jovic into centre, which for me, I think is really settling that attack end and giving Kelsey more range on the centre pass and vision into Shimona Nelson. So for them, it's about keeping possession, and that's what Kate Upton was really encouraging her team, was when they do get the ball, really just treasure it.
And Maddie, as we listened to the Thunderbirds before we went to Caitlin, is there anything that stood out from Tanya?
Yeah, she just said, let's go back to basics. It's all about that execution, doing the little percentages consistently. Let's bring it to what we know works for us. She asked the defenders have a go at the cross-court balls, and also the attackers to not just always be on the run contesting the ball. Come on the body, work off the body, have that variation in their court play.
Regular viewers of Suncorp Super Netball will know the rules. Timeouts, there are 2 per team per half. Rolling subs. So unlimited in that regard. The super shot, of course, in action now, the final 5 minutes of each quarter. Here's another one to Shimona Nelson.
I'm not surprised that Magpies have gone to this outfit for the last couple of minutes in this third quarter. This is their 2021 list. People that know each other, they have combinations that know each other quite well.
Borges thought about the two. Wants a better look, though. And Potgieter just sees the feet in that super shot territory and goes through McDonald.
See Hodges forcing her way maybe underneath Mentor to try and get that.
Hodges with the super shot. She liked the look eventually. A big play from a big player in this third quarter, Caitlin.
She created
the
play.
Players really stepping up now. I've got Tipper Dwan with a goal shooter bib standing next to me. She's yelling at Lenise to switch her out. So we're about to see Kath Cox's dream combination with the moving circle of Georgie Hodges and Tipper Dwan. And I have Tilly Garrett also, who's going to be popping into that goal defence position, I think, just to really change things up in that defence end for Thunderbirds.
Here's Shimona Nelson. You mentioned the great Kath Cox. She'll lead the commentary team in the next game. Swifts against the Giants, the grand final rematch. Kath, in her predictions, had Collingwood finishing 4th, Thunderbirds in 6th. I wonder if there's some food for thought for Kath as she watches this game unfold in Adelaide. The first of the season. It's great to have you with us on Fox Netball. Tipper Dwan to Hodges. A couple of super shot takers out there, and Hodges again lifts this crowd in Adelaide. 41-36. Their biggest lead of the game, the Thunderbirds.
This is where Magpies really need to knuckle down. Contact there by Sterling.
Close call by the reaction of Sterling.
Magpies really want to keep ticking away at the scoreboard, but you can't let the score get too far out and have to play catch up. Hopefully Sinclair can sink a 2-point.
Sinclair, the super shot, goes away from the target, picked up by Garrett, and here come the Thunderbirds again. Garrett, long and low for Hodges. Now McDonald and the captain in a 7th season with the Thunderbirds. Hannah Petty. Williams in her first full season as a contracted player. Up from the training partner status, but they can't complete all that good work, not resulting in a shot.
They were really patient, T-Birds, in getting that ball down, and then obviously a little bit of a higher pass. I think the best thing about this moving circle is what they need to do is keep the ball really low, keep it out of the air, make the defenders have to go for those ground balls.
So the contact there called on McDonald as Ward coming thundering into the picture. Kelsey Brown finds Jovic, and she finds Nelson, just so strong in the air. It looks like a 50-50 contest, and in the blink of an eye, it's 90-10.
Yeah, when she's holding strong and she creates that space for the feeders to feed into, rather than coming off early, she is unstoppable. It's when she gets pushed under the ball by the body or the defender that then it can start to obviously be a bit more of a contest in the air.
So Tipper Dwan just pleading her case to the umpires here against the much bigger Jiva Mentor. Now Ward. 30 seconds left in the third quarter. The Pies after a big finish to this term. What's their deficit going to be as they enter the final period?
You want to stay close to a team like Thunderbirds. As we've mentioned, they've got that two-prong attack. They both can shoot those long-range shots, Hodges and Dwan.
Nelson under pressure from Sterling, and Shimona Nelson comes out on top. Thanks the goal, and it's 3 the difference. That is the end of the third quarter. Fittingly, the difference is also 3. Who wants a first up win in Adelaide? Collingwood or the Thunderbirds? We're about to find out. There's 1 quarter left, and it is still anybody's game. You're watching Fox Netball.
of the court and there's 1, 2, 3 defenders, which is making it risky. Can we try and shift to the same side? Someone does that, the other one fills the side, so we collapse to fill. All right, and that's what I want you to look at. Every time they're taking that second or third phase, I want you to be on a front hold ready to go. Otherwise, we're trying to work this one in and then that one will open up. All right? Yes.
Kate Upton relaying the messages devised by herself and the absent Nicole Richardson. There is the relaxed-looking Thunderbirds huddle. The team huddles brought to you by Origin Energy, a really good crowd in here at Netball South Australia Stadium, and they're getting a good game, Maddie Brown. We don't know what way this opening game of the season is going to go. 41-38. What happens from here?
Look, is it going to be the experienced heads of Mentor, Brown, even Shimona within the Magpies to really settle them through all the way to the end? Or is it going to be the young, excitement Thunderbirds who have this home crowd that might just get them over the edge? But I think it's going to come down to the power play and those 2-point shots right at the end.
Let's go to a 2-time netball world champion, Caitlin Bassett, to give us what the Thunderbirds were talking about there.
Yeah, look, to start off with, we're seeing Lenise Potgieter get back out on court, which is fantastic to see, but she had some ripping blisters that were getting patched up there at three-quarter time, so she's clearly burning up that circle with her movement. But the focus for this last quarter from Tanya Obbs is really about communicating and connecting, especially through that defence end. So we'll see a lot more communication, a little bit more voice, and hopefully the crowd will get involved too.
Blisters, a new set of shoes maybe. You think the feet would be worn in by now after a really long pre-season?
Maybe, or she's just brought the new ones fresh out of the box for round one.
They look flash.
That is every centre quarter's nightmare, blisters.
There she is, standing on the transverse line in those new shoes. These teams last season, they were 1-1 head-to-head. Collingwood won their first meeting by 4 in Melbourne. Adelaide fought back on this floor to win by 8. So 2 single-figure margins, and the difference is 3 as we go into this final quarter. Nelson strong against Sterling, and she scores first.
When they can isolate Nelson under the post and then really put that ball into the space, she'll get it every single time. They've just got to give her that space to be able to work.
Neither of these teams could win first up last year. Who does it in 2022? Horges. Fantastic, especially after half-time. And she just restores that 3-goal buffer for Adelaide. Nelson.
Great drive by Brown to the pocket, drew Sterling out, leaving Nelson under the post.
Just looking at the team stats there in front of you, Maddie, what stands out to you as we go through these opening stages of the final period?
Look, I mean, time in possession of the ball has been very, very even. I think gained ball by Adelaide, they've got 11 to Magpies 8. Unforced turnovers. Turnovers are obviously coach killers. So Adelaide's having 12 there to Magpies 7. They definitely want to reduce that and not have it any more in this final quarter.
Potgieter scored while you were looking at those numbers, answered by Nelson here. So it's goal for goal to start this fourth quarter. And their majority scorers, Lenise Potgieter 22 of 25. Shimona Nelson 38 of 41 in terms of goal shooting, ignoring the fact that Lenise took one super shot that missed. Newton for Mentor. Kelsey Brown throwing it to Georgie Horges. Potgieter again getting away from Newton and finding the space she needs.
When they can create that mismatch in the circle with Newton on Potgieter, they should be throwing it in every single time.
She's played in England, in New Zealand, South Africa, and here in Australia, now with 1,000 goals, Lenise Potgieter. And Shimona Nelson, the Jamaican, with a rare miss. Hannah Petty, the captain, comes up with the ball. And an opportunity for the Thunderbirds here, Caitlin.
Lee, look, Maddie just talked about really exploiting the mismatch when Jackie Newton is on Lenise Potgieter. I think it's exactly the same down the other end. When you see Matilda Garrett get onto Shimona Nelson, they need to be looking into the circle, and she needs to tell her feeders when she's on Matilda Garrett, because it is a definite height mismatch there.
Potgieter fed by Williams. And Lenise Potgieter makes it 6 goals the difference. This is a handy break for Adelaide. Enthused by their home crowd. And there's some good work from Newton.
It's that cross-court pass. When you telegraph it, those defenders have time to sight it and come out and intercept every day of the week. Unfortunate fumble and miss there by Brown.
It was Newton's second intercept of the game. She has 34 Nissan net points. Jackie Newton. Here's Potgieter. A tough assignment for these Collingwood defenders, though. Jiva Mentor. What's your assessment? Is she still a little hindered by that ankle?
Only just then did I notice that she wasn't getting too high off the ground. She's kind of lunging at it, whether that's fatigue. We are in the 4th quarter. At TGC, they were playing 10-minute quarters. We're into that 15 minutes now. It will be starting to play the bit of a pinch on some of those players. But yeah, let's see when those shorter circle goalers come on to see how her footwork really finishes off.
Georgie Horges hasn't missed, 8 from 8. Approaching 40 Nissan net points.
We've seen
Anna Petty.
Sophie Garvin being injected into goal shooter now. Let's see whether she can have a bit more of an impact in that position than she did in goal attack at the start of the game.
Yeah, Sophie just 1 of 2 so far. Horges. They like the feel of this game, Adelaide. There's the captain, Hannah Petty, willing her players on. And we need a timeout. Collingwood have seen enough. 47-41. Sophie Garvin coming into the contest. What do you make of her numbers so far? She came from the Swifts for greater opportunity. Has she been given that? Has she seen that so far?
Yeah, well, she is predominantly a goal shooter, and obviously in pre-season we've seen her a lot more out at goal attack. She's going to have to try and find her feet within those new combinations, even in a new position. So I'm interested to see what she can put out at goal shooter.
Really disciplined with our processes, okay? Our processes, we gain the ball, we score off it, then we then go on our centre pass, all right?
You've been listening to an HCF tactical timeout, and there's a telling comment there at the end. Let's go, girls. We're not going to lose this one.
No, I mean, round 1, everyone wants to get that nice first win on the board. You just want to have that belief and confidence that what you've been working so hard in the pre-season is paying off. You don't want to have any question mark on, you know, your game plan, your strategy, any of that. So,
as I've mentioned a couple of times, they had to wait for a while last season to post their first victories, these teams. Collingwood in round 3, Adelaide in round 6. Maisie Nankerville back on in that centre role for the Thunderbirds. Here's Horges. Garrett goes across to Petty. Is this the season? Adelaide finally cracked the finals of Suncorp Super Netball. Been successful in previous national leagues. McDonald to Horges. Plenty of ball movement here. Trying to set up Lenise Potgieter.
I mean, Magpies double defending, obviously, a Potgieter in the goal circle, but letting Georgie Horges have so much space and time out the front. Get on a body, make her earn every single pass, wear her down.
So Garvin was pressured illegally by Sterling. Here's Garvin with her second goal as a Collingwood Magpie. Her former team up next, Swifts Giants. Giants last year's minor premiers, Swifts the grand final winners against them. What a game it will be on Fox Netball. Straight after we're done in Adelaide.
It's that mismatch. Magpies really need to kind of get their defence worked out. Keep Mentor on Potgieter. Jackie, let's body up and absolutely wear down Horges to have any chance in bringing back this deficit at the moment.
Yeah, Newton called for the contact, Potgieter scoring, and here's Garvin with her Magpies under pressure, and it shows, although Hannah Petty gives it straight back to Kelsey Brown. Garvin, cross court for Jovic. Now back to Sophie, and again there's contact made by Sterling.
It's a nice strong take by Garvin. I think she's lacking a little bit of confidence. She just needs to see it, let it go, play with a bit more freedom.
Horges thought about the long shot. Goes back to Nankerville, and Potgieter is a long way from home here.
Doesn't look comfortable too far from the post. Works it short.
Now, plants the foot, leaves the shot short, and Horges, no, they'll go to Jiva Mentor.
Yeah, she had an elbow, I think, in Mentor's side then, on the floor.
Spotted by the umpires. Petty, that's a captain's play. The deflection, then the gain. And now Maddie Garrett says, let's calm it down. Let's turn this 6-goal lead into something a bit better. Newton, no, denies.
Magpies really need to get a score here. Super important to get that one back.
Sinclair delivers. The registered nurse answers the emergency call. She's described on her bio as cool, calm and collected. Well, there's something that typifies that. Side under pressure, needing a goal. And even though she was a long way from home, Gabby Sinclair does the job. She might get another chance here, or will it be Garvin? Sophie Garvin.
It's an unlucky call. I thought Sterling banged the post there.
Yeah.
It's hard to shoot it when the post isn't shaking, let alone when it's shaking.
That's the next initiative beyond the super shot. It's the moving goal. Something for a decade down the track.
Oh, a few errors coming down into the Thunderbirds attack here. A breaking call, absolute coach killer there. Can Magpies capitalise on these errors?
Yeah, important possessions, aren't they, Maddie? Garvin, she scores 49-46.
Just keep chipping away at those ones.
We're a minute away from the final power play, the power 5 of the game, where the super shot enters calculations. This timeout gives us a chance to thank Suncorp, who've backed netball in this country for so long now and continue to do so through the Confident Girls Foundation. Every super shot sees $100 jump into the Confident Girls Foundation. And as part of that, there's the community response grants on offer from Suncorp, especially to clubs, associations and members impacted by these devastating floods we've seen in Queensland and New South Wales. Go to confidentgirlsfoundation.com.au, and thank you, Suncorp, for your generosity and support of netball in Australia.
We get on the circle edge with these two having the ball. Just otherwise, you can see that they're actually trying to push for someone to fly. All right, so let's try and get inside. Good job. Big composure. I want you to make sure we build. It'll be released from that back ball most likely, so that you're ready to go. Let's go, girls. Good job. Let's go. Finish off. Defense, pass, and create, attack, patience, and calm. Let's go.
You've been listening to an HCF tactical timeout. Collingwood up and about now, Maddie Brown. They believe behind by 3. It was a little ugly a moment ago. They've gathered some momentum now.
They have, and you could just see that talk was really positive in their huddle. They were talking about attacking in defence, like have a crack, we've got to win some ball back. And obviously in attack, showing that patience and calm when we've got the ball in our hands.
We've got a good finish here with a whole lot more still to come. Grand final rematch up next. Swifts, Giants in Sydney. For the time being, all attention focuses on Adelaide, and a costly blow to Collingwood there. Sterling was looking for Petty. Garvin gets in the way. Thunderbirds keep the ball. Now Horges and Petty busy in the midcourt. Nankerville. for Potgieter. McDonald wanted the ball and got it. Likewise, Potgieter. That's steady as she goes for Adelaide.
Yeah, and Porges doing a wealth of work out the front, still having so much time and space to absolutely just create, move, not only creating for herself, but creating for the others around her. There she goes again. She's not only so dominant on the shot, but she's so dominant with the ball in hand. She can assist so much.
Power play signals. So the super shot comes into it. Does Garvin land a few of them? Is it Sinclair?
Are we going to see Dwan come on for Potgieter to really start to put that pressure on the scoreboard? Latanya Wilson coming back onto goal defence, getting that nice hustle. She's a bit of a gritty defender. She wants to come up with the ball in hand, and that's exactly what she did. She's just wearing Sinclair nice and tight, making her earn every single pass.
So Potgieter with Adelaide in control. They're happy to make sure it's a high percentage shot to go up by one. The super shot more appealing maybe for Collingwood here. Down by 6, less than 4 to play.
When you've got that lead in the final minutes of the game, you can just continue to chip away. As I said, you've got control. Put the pressure on the opposition to have to make up those points.
Cross-court pass. Petty made sure there was pressure on Kelsey Brown. Time it's Nankerville called for the obstruction. There's Shamira Sterling showing that athleticism, that long wingspan. Adelaide out by 6. Collingwood get it back. So some nerves creeping in here. One team desperate to launch the super shots. The other trying to hang on. Jovic for Garvin. Brown to Sinclair.
It's a really hard feed. The defender's not only defending the opponent, but defending the pass.
Sophie Garvin, a super shot attempt. She misses. The Suncorp super shot deserts Sophie.
They have to have a go.
Still plenty of time for them. Now they have to defend.
We've obviously seen Dwan come on. Still going to just sink that nice, easy one. That pressure on the scoreboard.
Crowd likes it. They can see a first up win for their team. They finished 3rd at the Team Girls Cup pre-season. 3 wins, 1 loss. It was a big final win against the Sunshine Coast Lightning. They're about to frank that pre-season form with a first up win as long as cool heads prevail. Petty to Dwan, working with McDonald. Nankerville to Hodges. Georgie gets it done. Don't start celebrating yet, but you're well on the way, Adelaide. 54-46, just over 90 seconds left.
Just got to take care of their centre pass. Keep chipping away, slow and steady. See that option. If you don't like it, reassess, have that backup. Keep possession. It's really just a game of keepings off now.
So Nankerville to Hodges. This will bring the house down. A super shot for Suncorp, rims away. Mentor to Ward. But they're at the wrong end of the court. Collingwood, they'll get their coach back in coming days. They'll get Ash Brazel back. They're about to go down in Adelaide against the Thunderbirds. Well, Adelaide said the road to redemption starts here, and it will. 8th, 8th, 7th, 7th and 7th so far in Suncorp Super Netball. Not only do they pick up the 4 points for winning, they pick up a bucket load of confidence. Garvin to Sinclair. The Suncorp super shot is sweet. But are there enough seconds left for them?
I mean, if you can't get the win right now, you need to reduce that loss deficit.
Yeah, every shot crucial. Sinclair again and again, it finds the mark. So Gabby Sinclair. Suncorp super shot into the same again, 54-50, 15 seconds to play. Bit of pressure here on the Thunderbirds now. Seconds ticking away, they're in control, working the clock. McDonald's. Now Latanya Wilson. Petty.
Happy to just play it around.
Indeed they are. Tipper Dwan has the final touch. The newbie at the Thunderbirds celebrates victory on debut. And the crowd in here at Netball South Australia Stadium likes this one. The Adelaide Thunderbirds, the T-Birds, 54, have beaten Collingwood 50. Well, Maddie Brown, they spent a lot of the game in the lead, never out by an uncatchable amount, but they held their nerve and they were right. Redemption starts today.
And coaches, especially Tanya Obbs, would be really happy with that in those couple of final minutes. She asked them to stick to the basics. Just go back to what we know works for us. Short, sharp leads, give and goes, keep possession. And they did that right to the very final couple of last seconds. Magpies tried a whole lot of different combinations, but just didn't have the answers when they needed to give them today.
They spent more time in possession, Adelaide. Had fewer penalties conceded than the opposition. Grabbed 9 intercepts to 7, had 18 gains to 13. There are plenty of statistical elements that the coach, Tanya Obst, will like about this one. But the most important stat reads 54-50. And look at Hannah Petty starting her 7th year at the Thunderbirds. The captain, a big smile and claps all round saying, next time you come, bring a friend.
Yeah. I mean, we always talk about in games, it's about consistency, and Adelaide won 3 out of those 4 quarters, and that is always going to put you in a really good position to win. So exciting win for them, especially in front of a home crowd.
Their first quarter set them up 16-13. Collingwood bounced back in the next 14-12, and then 13-11 Thunderbirds, 13-12 Thunderbirds. Let's find Caitlin Bassett with the player of the match.
Today's player of the match. Gorgeous, Georgie. Congratulations on the win and a fantastic personal game. It was tight in the end. What did Coach Tanya Obbs tell you to settle you guys in the last few minutes?
I think she just said just go back to what we know we had to do. We wanted to 100% effort and 100% attitude out there. I think we just got over that on the line, but I think we've got a lot to work on that. We can push a bit harder next game.
And we saw you starting in wing attack today. You played goal attack as well. You shot 100%, 8 from 8 in normal shots and 2 from 3 in the super shot. Where do you feel more comfortable in that wing attack position or the goal attack position?
I've definitely played a lot more goal attack, but I love playing between both. Yeah, I just love it. Yeah.
And tell me about Tipper Dwan coming into your club. How exciting is it to play with her, especially in the shooting circle?
Yeah, she's awesome. She can shoot from anywhere. Just give her the ball. We'll have so much confidence in her, and she's a legend to have out there on court.
You've been talked up a lot this year as the dark horses in the competition. We've seen lots of potential in the past. Tell us what you guys really want to commit to this year as a team.
I think just make the top 4 would be awesome. To get in that grand final spot is what every team would want. So yeah, that's our main goal, to get up there in the top 4.
Thanks so much for joining us today. Congratulations, an excellent game and a great first win for the season.
Thanks.